Chairman and CEO of Total Energies, Mr. John Christman, who is in the room, CEO of APA Corporation, Mr. Anand Jageser, CEO of Staatsolie Suriname N.V., members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, goedemorgen, goedemorgen. I am Kayla Visser, Corporate Communication Advisor at Staatsolie, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on this historical day. Yesterday, the field development plan for the Granmorgu oil field in Block 58 offshore Suriname was approved. Today, the Block 58 contractors, Total Energies and APA Corporation are announcing the final investment decision, FID. This means that large and key contracts will be awarded and work will start soon or has already started. This morning's program consists of three parts. First, the FID announcement will be signed. Mr. Kuyan will then hand over a summary of the field development plan to President Santoki. In the second part, after receiving the documents, the President will make a short statement, and we will conclude this morning's program with a press conference, Q&A, with statements by Mr. Christman, Mr. Kuyan, and Mr. Jageser. We'll continue now to the signing of the document, because yesterday in the operating committee meeting, the OCM, the field development plan was approved by the partners. Today, we are here to announce the final investment. In view thereof, may I invite to sign the FID announcement letter Mr. Arthur Nunes da Silva, General Manager, Country Chair, Total Energy Suriname. Mr. Mark Nick, please proceed to the table. Country Manager of APA Suriname, and Mr. Anand Jageser, CEO of Staatsolie.
FID ondertekening heeft net plaatsgevonden, dus
The document has been
totaal
signed.
APA en
Congratulations all.
de heer Jageser, de
Thank you very much.
vice-president en de CEO van Totaal.
And now, Mr. Kuyan will hand over the summary of the FDP to President His Excellency Santoki.
So, Mr. President, I have a pleasure to hand over to you this field development plan, which has a value of $10.5 billion on these 2 pages. So I will sign it for you, and you can keep it. It's a present, but it's also the future of our company in Suriname. Great commitment, and we will do that the best for people, all the people of Suriname. Thank you, Mr. President, for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, CEO Q&A. Your signature was more than 10 billion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kuyan. Thank you, Mr. President. The President will now make his statement. May I have your attention for the President?
Thank you, Master of the Ceremony. I'll ask the CEO of Total Energy and also the CEO of all waiting for these moments. Gaat aanwezig. Maar in het bijzonder het volk van Suriname. Vandaag is het een historische dag voor Suriname. Voor alle Surinamers. Voor jullie allemaal. Is het een historische dag. Een belangrijke dag. Een dag die onze toekomst mede zal bepalen. En dat vereist nationale inzet om aan de opbouw van ons geliefd Suriname te gaan werken. Ja, samenwerken. Ik heb daarnet van de CEO van Total Energies, de heer Patrick Kouyané, in het bijzijn van de vertegenwoordigers van APA Corporation en de CEO van Staatssolidair Anna Jagesa en de totale regering van Suriname en de leider van de Nationale Assemblée het document ontvangen waarin bevestigd wordt dat eerder genoemde bedrijven hun finale investeringsbesluit hebben genomen. Het volk van Suriname heeft al lang uitgekeken naar dit moment. En vandaag vertegenwoordigt het geen eindpunt. Maar het is de start van een intensief traject van enorme arbeid, partnerschap en gezamenlijke inzet van iedereen. De bekendmaking van het finale investeringsbesluit betekent dat vanaf vandaag er geen onzekerheid hoeft te bestaan over het feit dat we met internationale partners de exploitatie van olie- en gasfondsen op commerciële wijze in blok 58 ter hand zullen nemen. De vereiste investeringen met het doel voor ogen zullen wij starten en miljarden Amerikaanse dollar vertegenwoordigen en de eerste olieproductie wordt al in de eerste helft van 2028 verwacht. Er zijn sinds 2019 5 fondsen gedaan in blok 58. De twee belangrijkste oliefondsen, Tabakara Zuid en Krabdagu, hebben samen reserves van ongeveer 750 miljoen vaten. Deze reserves zullen gecombineerd ontwikkeld worden tot het Gramorgu olieveld. In de komende 4 jaren zullen ongeveer 32 putten worden geboord, onderzeese installaties en pijpleidingen worden aangelegd en het drijvend productieplatform wordt gebouwd. Met dit alles gaat een investering van meer dan 10 miljard Amerikaanse dollar. En u heeft het al gehoord, de CEO van Total Energie, meer dan 1 miljard dollar is alleen voor local content ontwikkeling. De operationele activiteiten voor het boren van de putten zullen vanuit Suriname plaatsvinden. Let wel, vanuit Suriname plaatsvinden. Dat zal een grote spin-off betekenen voor de Surinaamse economie vanwege de aankoop van de lokale arbeid, goederen en diensten. Dat noemen we met een mooi woord local content. En ons land zou dus in deze fase kunnen profiteren van de kapitaalinvestering van het Gramorgu project. De naam Gramorgu symboliseert de nieuwe kans om een mooi Suriname te creëren. Dit is een game changer. Suriname is straks 50 jaar een republiek en als land hebben we veel uitdagingen gehad op sociaal, politiek, maatschappelijk en economisch gebied. De kans die Gramorgu een nieuwe morgen Wambu Tamara ons biedt, zullen we met beide handen grijpen. Wij individueel, als dienstverleners, producenten, importeurs, gaan heel hard moeten werken om integraal onderdeel te worden van een nieuwe industrie. Onze local content gaat gefaciliteerd moeten worden en dat kan alleen optimaal wanneer het samenspel tussen de regering en het bedrijfsleven effectief is. Hiervoor zal de regering binnenkort verder voorstellen over doen. Nadat de olieproductie vanaf 2028 op gang is gekomen, zal het grootste deel van de netto-inkomsten naar de staat Suriname gaan. De inkomsten van Suriname bestaan uit royalties, winstolie en belasting. Ondertussen zijn de eerste voordelen reeds zichtbaar. En ik ben Total Energie en partners erkentelijk voor ondersteuning die zal worden gegeven aan een aantal urgente voorzieningen in de gezondheidssector. En eerder is al bekendgemaakt, minister van Volksgezondheid, u zult straks namelijk de financiering ook in ontvangst nemen van twee belangrijke instellingen die onder druk staan in de samenleving. En dat is namelijk moeder- en kindproject bij Academisch Ziekenhuis en Wismans Hospitaal ter waarde van 13 miljoen Amerikaanse dollar. Het gaat om renovatie, upgrading en aankoop van noodzakelijke apparatuur. Inmiddels zijn we als regering begonnen het welvaart- en stabilisatiefonds nader uit te werken en de meest optimale regelgeving ter zake vast te stellen. De inkomsten uit deze en mogelijk ook andere sectoren zullen besteed worden aan de nationale economische ontwikkeling en het voorafgestelde deel zal gereserveerd worden in het eerder genoemd fonds ten behoeve van de toekomstige generaties, maar ook voor het diversifiëren van onze economie. En daardoor hebben we onze toekomst zeker verduurzaamd. De gelden zullen transparant en apolitiek beheerd moeten worden met het achtnemen van de regels en voorzieningen van goed bestuur, good governance. Terwijl dit moment voor ons allen van historische waarde is, moet benadrukt worden dat de doelstelling van de regering om onze economie te diversifiëren niet alleen gericht is op de olie en gas en de hieraan gerelateerde industrieën. We zien de economie als een geheel en zullen derhalve ook de verdere ontwikkeling van de agrarische sector, de visserij en het toerisme, de dienstverleningssector etc. ter hand nemen. Zoals vele keren eerder gezegd, Suriname zal er alles aan doen om deze carbon-negatieve status van ons niet te verliezen. We zijn carbon-negatief en we zullen dat ook blijven, ook met die oil en gas production. We zullen daarom heel nauw letten op de productiemethoden die gehanteerd zullen worden en aandringen op een zo milieuvriendelijke exploratie en exploitatie met het achtnemen van de internationale standaarden en regelgeving. Speciale aandacht zal ook worden gegeven aan de maatregelen die getroffen moeten worden om natuurrampen te voorkomen. Onze mariene biologische diversiteit is niet alleen een belangrijk onderdeel van het ecosysteem, maar ook een bron van inkomsten. Indachtig de effecten van het besluit tot ontwikkelen van de olie- en gasindustrie door Total Energies, EP Corporation en Staatsolie NV heeft de regering tevens besloten zeer binnenkort een representatief nationaal platform op te richten, welke ten doel zal hebben om de impact van olie- en gasindustrie en de optimale benutting van deze industrie naar de samenleving mede te helpen analyseren en daaromtrent de regering van advies te dienen. De productietechnische en financiële doelen en daar gerelateerde management zal voor wat betreft Suriname gedelegeerd zijn aan Staatsolie NV. Wij gaan een gecommitteerd en sterk partnerschap aan met de twee internationale bedrijven onder begeleiding van onze nationale trots Staatsolie Suriname NV. Om deze investering te kunnen verantwoorden is vertrouwen en goed dialoog met alle belanghebbenden nodig. Wij verwachten dat alle belanghebbenden de goede, transparante en diepgaande samenwerking zullen voortzetten, welke de beste garantie voor een solide partnerschap in beide belang biedt. Ons beleid, en dat zal voor elke regering moeten gelden, is dat de levensstandaarden en welzijn van onze bevolking op een significant hoger niveau moet komen. Niet alleen overleven, maar een fijn leven kunnen leiden. Wij zullen ervoor zorgen dat deze welvaart bij elke burger terechtkomt via het principe van leaving no one behind, dat wij krachtig zullen verdedigen. Ik feliciteer het Surinaamse volk en alle betrokkenen met het realiseren van deze historische mijlpaal, welke substantieel een bijdrage zal leveren aan de duurzame groei en ontwikkeling in alle opzichten van onze economie en samenleving. Ik mag u allemaal bedanken en ik ga jullie vragen om mij te verexcuseren omdat ik me klaar moet maken voor de Nationale Assemblée om een jaarrede uit te spreken. Maar er zal hierna direct een persconferentie plaatsvinden waarbij de drie bedrijven, Staatsolie, ook Total Energy en EP Corporation aanwezig zullen zijn om vragen te beantwoorden. CEO of Total Energy, Mr. Q&A, and also CEO of EP, CEO Starbury. I just announced that I have to leave for Parliament, but I leave you behind to take all the difficult questions. But they'll be not difficult. I think everything is quite clear up till now, but if there will be any question from the press media, if you are willing to take those questions, and I'll ask you permission to give me the opportunity to leave. But before that, I'll give you the opportunity to make some small
Je suis taillé grand mot, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. And all of you, success and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Nou, jullie hebben het gehoord. De final investment decision is een feit. Het is een miljardendeal van 10 miljard, als ik het goed heb. En dat zeker 1 miljard van die hele deal eigenlijk uitbesteed zal worden aan local content.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all of you for your presence. This part of the program is finished, so I will ask the following people to please remain in the room for the press conference. Vandana Ramade, John Crispin, Mark Mick, Scott Brett, Nicolas Terras, Pierre Riel, Arthur Nunes da Silva, Prince Walter, and Mr. Amir Ramadi. For the rest of the guests, please, it was nice to have you here. May enjoy a brief moment to start the press conference.
Overige gasten zullen de ruimte verlaten en nu gaan wij over tot de vragenronde, persconferentie. Ik denk dat het goed is om gewoon even live te blijven en even niet uit live te gaan. Dus we kunnen nog kijken hoe de felicitaties nog plaatsvinden. En dus de mensen ruimte maken voor de pers die zodat vragen kunnen stellen over de FID deal die is getekend onlangs. Het was een volle zaal hier bij het kabinet van de president, een volle belangstelling. We hebben heel veel officials van Total, van APA, van staatsolie, de ondertekening van de final investment decision meegemaakt.
All right, so we'll continue with the final the press moment, the moment for the press media. We will have statements and time for a Q&A. By now, it's obvious that the project is named Grand Morgo. But why that name? And what does it symbolize? So before proceeding to the statements and the Q&A, I will tell you a bit more about the meaning of the project name and the logo. Grand Morgo, a symbol of inclusivity, strength, resilience, longevity, and new beginnings. That's 100 years of good luck. 40. 40. Indeed, 40 years. Here on the screen you see the Grand Morgo. Yeah. And the development of the Sapakara South and Krabdago oil fields in Block 58 is now unified under the singular project name, Grand Morgo. Under this name, we mark the start of a significant era for Suriname, one filled with fresh opportunities and a steadfast commitment to sustainable growth and progress. What's the meaning behind the name? The project name Grand Morgo was inspired by the majestic Goliath Grouper, locally known as the Grand Morgo, which inhabits the grow up to 2.5 meters, weigh up to 360 kilograms, and reach the mature age of more than 40 years. Mr. Puyang was right. So the Grand Morgo symbolizes scale, significance, strength, longevity, and supernatural power, according to some Amerindian communities in South America and the Caribbean. We believe these elements could be seen as symbolism for the Grand Morgo development in Block 58. But there is more symbolism. Schools of small pilotfish, as you can see, often use the Grand Morgo as cover to stay safe from predators. In symbolism, this can be seen as not being there only for oneself, but having a great purpose, representing inclusiveness. It may sound strange, but fish, including the majestic adult Grand Morgo, like to hang out around oil platforms. The juvenile Grand Morgo cannot survive and grow without the mangrove forests. The presence of the Grand Morgo is an indication of an overall healthy ecosystem. In this way, the Grand Morgo can be seen as a symbol of the need for environmental sensitivity, protection, preservation, and expansion of ecosystems. The oil and gas sector has an important responsibility in protection and expansion of this habitat. We are committed to balancing prosperity with responsible development and investment in nature-based activities. The Grand Morgo will remind us of this. Last, and maybe the most important one for the economically challenged country, Suriname, in a beautiful synchronicity, the words Grand Morgo also carries the meaning of a grand morning in Surinamese, signifying a new dawn and the promise of new beginnings. Today, we set the fundament for this Grand Morgo. The project has a logo, and the project's logo features a stylized sun rising over the sea horizon, seamlessly integrated with the image of the Grand Morgo fish. The rising sun embodies the promise of a new dawn, while the Grand Morgo represents enduring strength, resilience, inclusiveness, and the forward motion that characterizes this important project. And in case you are wondering, my friends of the press, we have a fact sheet that we will hand out after this meeting. We will now proceed to the statements and the Q&A. As you know by now, behind the table we have Mr. Anand Jagesa, CEO of Stars Holding, and Mr. Patrick Puyan, Chairman and CEO of Total Energies. Although Total Energies is the operator, APA Corporation has been in this block since 2015 and made the first discovery. In view hereof, we want to give APA Corporation the opportunity to make a brief statement. May I have your attention for Mr. Christman?
Thank you. As I said earlier, we entered Suriname in 2012 because we knew this country had great potential for oil and gas resources. In 2015, we picked up Block 58. Throughout that whole time period, we worked very closely with Staatsolie, and I have the great amount of respect for Staatsolie, all of your members, your representatives. We developed a great relationship. But in 2019, we brought in Total, and Total Energies was the right partner. Patrick, I can't thank you enough. Your team, Nicholas, it's been a fun journey, and we've worked through some things, but we're here today, and it really is a new dawn and a new beginning for the country of Suriname. We could not have selected a better partner. Your expertise, technology is a great fit, and so we're very excited to have you in the block. Most importantly, what we prove with this process and what we do is that we can, by bringing reliable, affordable energy into the world, we can really raise energy poverty and helps lift people out. And this will do great wonders for Suriname, all of our people, as we really improve quality of life everywhere, not just here but across the globe. We can do it environmentally in a friendly way. We've designed this where we'll re-inject all the gas. There will be no flaring. A lot of new technology, and we trust the operator is going to do a fantastic job. So it really is a new beginning, a great day for Suriname. We're pleased to be a part of it, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Mr. Christman. We will continue the statements, and I will now ask your attention for Mr. Puyan.
First, Mr. Master of Ceremony, I would like you to make me a gift, which is to give me your description of the Grand Model. Because it was remarkable, so I would like to have it in my records. So, because I discovered a lot, including that it was larger and bigger than myself, so it's good. So I'm happy to be here with you today for this very important moment, historic day probably for Suriname, but also a very important event for Total Energies and our friends and partners of Apache, because it's really quite it's a very landmark project, I would say, in this prolific basin that we managed to put together. We began this journey in 2019. We made 5 discoveries. Finally, after discovering gas, we find oil, and enough oil, I would say, to launch this oil project. It's a giant project, a giant deepwater project, more than $10 billion, 220,000 barrels per day. So it will be one of the largest FPSO we've ever built and designed. 32 wells, 200 kilometers of subsea lines. So it's an impressive project. We have some experience with it, and we are very happy to bring our expertise and our capacity of innovation to Suriname and to the people of Suriname. I will insist on two parts, which in my brief statements. First is taking care of the environment. The motto, the strategy of Total Energies is more energy, less emissions, more cash. It's coming. But more production, more energy. It's exactly what we do today. Less emissions, because this project has been designed to minimize the greenhouse gas emission. The floating unit is all electric. It's without flaring, so it's a closed flare, zero G flaring. It's designed to lower the emissions under 16 kilograms CO2 per barrel, which is less than the average of what we have done in our history. I would say there will be also a permanent network of detection of methane on board. It's the first time we do that in our company, and it will become a standard all over the place. The second aspect of the project is important for the people of Suriname. Of course, is the local content. Out of the $10 billion, we intend to spend here in Suriname more than $1 billion, 1.5 billion. It will create jobs, direct jobs, 2,000 jobs next years, and indirect jobs, around 4,000 jobs, drilling services, logistics, support to operations, and of course we'll have to train young Surinamese in order to become the future operators on board of the SPSO. You will have to wait a little, because today we are in end of 24. Production will come in 28, for sure. I promise to the President 28. I don't tell you the months, because you know it's a long journey. In fact, the project has already started, because we ordered the hull of the vessel a few months ago to be sure to secure the hull. And it's being built already on the Chinese yard. So I'm sure, and this is on the critical path, this hull and the vessel. So it's a strong commitment from all of us, and again. And finally, last word to, I said it, but to say thank you to Anna and all his team, because we have been a record, the world record, sanctioned last year, end of appraisal last year, September, October 23, sanctioned September 24, October 1st, or September 30, I don't know what is the official date, but it's the same. That's a record, 1 year from appraisal to the sanction. I'm very proud of it. It was a challenge I gave to my team, so I've been promising it to the President. But it would have not been possible without our strong support of our partner, Apache, I always call you Apache, I have difficulty with Baba, sorry for that. And also without the strong support. And Anand told me intense work, constructive work with Satsori, and again, it would have been not possible without the technology. So my wish is that we continue like we have done it until sanction. We keep the mindset and the strong spirit of partnership, because the hard work was done before, but now we have to do other work, which is to spend this $10 billion in the budget and in the planning. It's fundamental for all of us and for the Surinamese people who are expecting, of course, the benefits of the production, but you will have to wait 28, even if in between we'll create jobs and services, and so I'm sure that it will create economic activity here in the country, and we are very happy to go together. Thank you.
May I have your attention for Mr. Anand Jagesa, who will make a statement on behalf of Suriname and the regulator Staatszone.
Thank you, MC, and press, welcome. Respected press that is keeping us honest. In the past year, of course, we have intensely had discussions with Total, but it was always constructive. Many hours were spent, but eventually came to this great moment whereby we announced FID. And it's natural that parties protect their interests. And I must say, Total has protected their interests with Suriname, and the regulator has protected our interests as well. And there, somewhere you find common ground, which was found. We want to thank Total for being constructive, and we respect you also for being firm, because you have to always protect your interests. I can tell you now, Suriname will never be the same. And for sure from 28 on, but even before that, because between FID and the first production, there will be a lot of change as well. You might not know, but in the IMF framework, the oil production from the offshore was not recognized. So that's why it was so strict. But they have promised that from this moment on, this will be incorporated in the macroeconomic framework. Will give a huge relief to the Surinamese economy, because Suriname can do a lot more for the population of Suriname because of that. The local content will increase strongly. The last 5 wells from Total were drilled from Suriname, and they spent $90 million in Suriname. in this project, they will drill 32 wells. So you can imagine, and the CEO of Total has mentioned that 1 billion of this 10 billion plus will be spent in Suriname. I must say, I'm very proud of our Surinamese contractors because the port is operating at full capacity and very well. But there was one of the contractors that came to Suriname to see if some jumper welding jobs could be done from Suriname. And their report was everything they saw in Suriname was far above expectations. So we're confident that some welding job will also be done in Suriname. And then, of course, a lot of good, but also bad people will flock into Suriname. I hope we, Suriname, become better in recognizing the difference between good and bad. But of course, all these persons that will come to Suriname will need a hotel, they will need a cab, they will go to restaurants, they will visit shows, they will buy souvenirs, they'll make fancy stuff that you guys make. So this will bring a huge spin-off for our country. And that is all the things that will happen before 28. And then from 28 on, we'll get the direct income from the Grand Morgu project. These incomes will be so high that even under poor governance, you will not notice anything. You will notice progress. And this is the danger of oil, big revenues from oil. Because you will not see anything in the first 20 years, or maybe 40 years. And then, because oil is not infinite, it runs out, and prices fluctuate, sometimes 90, sometimes 9, and then governments come into trouble. And we have a lot of populist examples in the world. The biggest are, of course, Venezuela and Nigeria. And we have a great risk of becoming those as well. So we will have to have good governance. And I want to emphasize populist, because the oil is not even there, and we are already inundated on the uncountable populist statements. You have heard them all. So we have to have good governance, otherwise we'll be penniless in the future. And believe me, it's not a possibility, it's a sure outcome, because this is economic principle, undeniable economic principle. If you're popular, you set prices in the market, you will eventually run out of capital, like Venezuela has, with a lot of resources, one of the biggest oil resources in the world. Alcoa has been here for 100 years. Staatsolie has been here for 44 years. I cannot speak of Alcoa, but I can speak of Staatsolie. We spent more than 4.5 billion. We transferred more than 4.5 billion US dollars to the government. Look around you in Suriname, there is nothing tacit that you can see. So I warn us all, including myself, that we have to take care of the governments. This Grand Morgu project will create mega incomes, 3 billion US dollars in peak years. So it's as big as the GDP of Suriname, as I previously mentioned. And let's not say after 60 years or 100 years when Total leaves, that they left nothing behind. Because this project has very good income for Suriname, very, very good. We mentioned between 16 and 26 billion, but with the upsides that we currently see, that could be higher, and with higher oil prices, that is also higher. This has to be very well managed. Even if we make this much income, eventually the oil will run out. Prices might fluctuate a lot, so we have to really care about the good governance. Matide, now Brady Day. A Grand Morgu e begin. Now almost boring, that one lady fasi and fasi. Staatsolie congratulates the Surinamese society with this great and special moment. From my heart, this is for the elderly in Suriname, which unfortunately we have impoverished with decades of hyperinflation. When a small child is born, they look in their mother's eye and they hope and they trust that we'll make a good society. where they can have a good life. And this is what we need to do. No one needs to be poor anymore with these incomes, but it will have to be managed. En het gaat goed vertoeven worden in Suriname. Dus niet alleen dat we boven het bestaansminimum hoeven te leven. Er zijn zoveel inkomsten uit dit project, geloof u mij, dat we niet alleen boven de armoedelijn hoeven te zijn, maar dat we een fijn leven gaan hebben, zoals de president net ook heeft gezegd. I thank you very much.
But we're not finished yet. There is still one more pleasant announcement to make by Mr. Puyan. We understand that Total Energies and APE have a very fitting and welcome surprise for Suriname. Mr. Puyan, please repeat it.
Yeah, I'm very happy to announce that Total Energies and our partner, Apache, you are right. It's like Total Energies and Total, you know, I have a problem of change of name, you know, sometimes. But we have very pleasure that we will sign today with the Ministry of Health MOU with a work program and budget of $13 million to support the mobile newborn and child health facilities and equipment in the two main hospitals of Paramaribo, providing mother and child services, AZP and SLANs. Since 2023, we have been working with both the public medical community and the Ministry of Health to understand the needs for healthcare. We understand that Suriname has shown in recent years an improvement in maternal, infant, and infant mortality rate, but there is still a lot of work to do. With this agreement, gift, donation, Total Energies and APA wish to ratify their commitments to healthcare system further by pledging support to the maternal and child health sector in Suriname. All companies love to become citizens of the country in which they establish a project. We are not good only, I would say, on oil and gas, we are also quite keen to develop our engagement with the Suriname society. It's a matter of acceptability and sustainable development. It's not only natural resources of the people, and this commitment to the health of the mother and children of Suriname make me very happy. So Arthur, our country chair in Suriname, will sign this MOU and will be available to give you more details about the health support. Thank you to all of you for this announcement.
Very pleasant surprise indeed. May I ask Mr. Arthur Nunes da Silva and Minister Ramadin to sign the MOU, and from APA, Mr. Scott Grant, Senior Vice President, Corporate Development.
Sang.
Just to emphasize, this surprise is worth $13 million.
Say 40.
That's a one-day.
Boy, cameraman. Hi. Taxi me even nog.
Congratulations. Thank you, gentlemen. And I believe the minister will have to be excused now because he has to run to the parliament. Yes, I was going to ask you something.
Dear CEO, Mr. Patrick, CEO James and all the press, media, I know this is not protocol, but I would like to thank on behalf of our community but especially our target population, which is included in this MOU. Our sincere thanks to Toka and APA for his donation. We have had intense discussions about potential investment in health, and I think at this moment, this MOU and this donation will benefit a very sensitive population in Suriname. And I can assure you that under this governance and this government, we will execute this projects as mentioned. And thank you once more.
Thank you. Can you come on the floor? Please come. Come, because I bet she's going to be something else.
De oil companies hebben 13 miljoen US dollar gecommitteerd aan moeder- en kindzorg, die de minister van Volksgezondheid zeker kan gebruiken momenteel om moeder- en kindzorg vooral te verbeteren.
Important part of the program for our friends of the press media. We will have a Q&A for about 20 minutes. We have extended that 20 minutes, more or less.
13.
All right, Brian is getting
It depends on Anna.
okay, 30 minutes, 3-0. That's max. But let me just say that if you have questions, you raise your hand, state your name and medium, and who the question is directed. If you are more comfortable asking the question in Dutch, please do so. There is a microphone I saw somewhere here, so it will be brought to you and you can ask your question. Who can I give the first turn? I see Ivan Cairo. Yeah.
Good morning. I am Cairo and Caribbean Media Corporation. I have a question for Mr. Brian and one for Mr. Jackson. You have mentioned that the production will start in 2028. But what are the chances for a second development in Block 50? Or is this only development that will be there? That's for Mr. Brian. And Mr. Jackson, also related to the income from this field, the direct income will be in 2020, starting in 2028. But with the signing of this document, is there a signing bonus for the funds of that volume? Can you tell us something about that?
So first, it's a big project. At this point, our intent, in fact, is to not only to be able to find, there is probably more resource around the area of the field of Craigbalu and Sapakara. And we have designed the installation in order to be able to connect to this big floating production unit additional resource in the future in order to extend the plateau. So I would say this is you should consider this development as the anchor point for more resources to be developed for these installations. We have found, as you know, as well, quite a lot of gas. For the time being, we dedicated all our efforts to put this oil fields to production, and I think it's for the benefit of the whole country. We'll see beyond if there are more to do, but I would say at this stage my priority is to deliver by 28 this project around Mongo, and to identify additional resources to be able to connect that to Grand Mongo in the future.
On the signing bonus, there is a signing bonus when we award blocks. There's a possibility. But I think the signing bonus here is 13 million will be spent. You know, we spoke a lot about the Nederlandse verdragsmiddelen, massieve miljoen. This is 13 million, and we'll spend that in the healthcare sector by a private company that will speed up the effectiveness of the spending and the results. And then secondly, like I told you guys before, the IMF framework will be adjusted with the oil income. And if you can imagine if we earn 3.6 billion a year, and in the peak years we have 3 billion in addition, they will have to relax that framework. So I would say there is the bonus, and the local content will follow as well.
I believe that Gloria had a question also. Yes, because she is on active.
My name is Gloria Botsa. Congratulations with this FID. A question for here, Anand. You keep mentioning about good governance, the importance of that. So what do you need, what do you think is needed to make sure there is good governance? And also you have mentioned before that our deal was better than Guyana. Is it still the case, or are there different adjustments in this deal?
Yeah. Well, good governance, I can give you a long answer, but I invite you to read about Singapore, Mr. Lee Kuan, where he took some measures, and that is running. We have proven economic systems in the world, and if someone believes in the world that they can do it differently, it feels everywhere. And you can look at the whole of Latin America that came to be. So that's the way we should run our country. People appointed with a profile, not removing directors in the government, because they should be apolitical, and run according to systems. I think Staatsolies run according to systems. And we really don't hope that because of the success, our own success, that people will try to get involved in the Staatsoli business. So yeah, that's good governance. I think the Singapore example is extremely good, and it's nice because the neighbors also tried, and they made progress with Singapore also China. So that's a very nice example. So this other question, you should not ask me in front of the CEO of Total that we have a better deal than in Guyana. But I just want to say in Guyana they have 2% royalty and 50% profit split, no taxes. And here in Suriname we have like 6.25% royalty. Profit split according to a certain formula. So the higher the oil price, the better for Suriname. But the lower the oil price, then the contractor gets protected. And we have a stabilized tax rate of 36%. So you can do the math, and the deal is good. But of course, everybody has to survive in this partnership.
Thank you. I believe that Isham has a question, then we'll get Zoe and Seth.
Goedemorgen. Even met betrekking tot de macro-economische dus het raamwerk met IMF en we hebben ook nog de schuldherschikking met Oppenheimer. Ik heb begrepen dat de clausule met Oppenheimer dus afgesproken dat na een bepaalde tijd of een bepaalde hoeveelheid gewonnen olie dat er dan inkomsten gaan richting Oppenheimer, schuldeisers. Dus de vraag concreet, 2028, we spreken over heel veel geld dat binnen gaat komen. Dat lijkt me een beetje onduidelijk, ik weet precies wat u bedoelt. Krijgen we toegang tot die final investment decision, ik zou graag willen inkijken. Ik heb nog meer vragen, maar ik denk dat ik ga iets op toegang.
Yeah, dus indeed, so the government, I mean, if you borrow money from me or I borrow money from you, maybe that's a better example because you're rich. And I cannot pay you back right now, but you know that in 4 years I'll get inheritance of my very wealthy uncle. Then you will make a deal with me that I don't have to pay you back right now, but I have to pay you back. So let's be fair. These are the sound economic systems. That's why Oppenheimer has agreed with the country. If you don't get oil, you can forget, you don't have to pay me. But if you have oil, then you will have to pay me, which is the value recovery instrument. But it was done quite well because only 30% of only the royalty, 6.25%, will be used to repay this thing. And even the royalties are so huge that within 3 to 4 years, that VRI will be paid off. So then you still have 70% of the royalty, the profit oil, and the taxes that will still come to Suriname. These are really huge streams that we mine. I hope it answers the question. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, good morning. My name is Zoe Koning. I'm a journalist for Vaartboden magazine, it's a local magazine here in Suriname. I think my questions, I don't know, are maybe for both of you. I heard you talk about $10 billion. The president in his speech said more than 10 billion. What's the exact amount of the
10.5.
10.5. Just wanted to get the numbers right. And the other question is a rumor that I heard that I would like to present. I heard that the expenses made by Total Energies for the 2 other wells that are not being developed as of right now in block 58. Are these expenses also included, or will they be, I think the word is reimbursed into this FID? Is that true or not?
The over wells. No, the FID is the money, but the amount I just gave you is for what we have to spend between today and 28. It includes the cost of the floating units, all the subsea lines, and the 32 new wells that we will drill. Maybe we take back one, no, 32 new wells that we will drill, 16 producers, 16 injectors. That represents the global amount of the development. So I'm not sure to fully understand your question.
It does not include the cost that's been made by already.
Do we recover the past costs?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Sorry?
The answer is yes.
Yes, okay.
We will recover the past costs.
Okay, thank you.
Which is the principle, you know. We have spent more or less $1 billion, I think. $1.4 billion for without guarantee of recovering anything. So we spent 1.4 billion between 2019 and 2024, which might be lost. We are lucky because we find oil. So of course, when we produce the oil, we will recover the full spendings, the projects,
the whole block.
the whole block. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gladys Findley from the newspaper The West. Congratulations. I think everybody here, congratulations to you all. My question is not exactly for you two, but for the director for APA. I want to know what originally attracted APA to Suriname in the first place in 2012, because I think we missed it, or I think it's still relevant because you started it. So can you tell us?
But I would consider, you know, when you look globally at resources.
This
You know, when you look at the Atlantic margin and discoveries that have happened up and down South America as well as the west coast of Africa, geologically it's a great area. And you know, our team of geologists in early 2012 were looking for places. There was a bid round. We took the first block, block 53. We drilled a well in block 53. It was not a discovery, but we did drill into the resource where we did determine that the source rock could produce oil. So then in 2015, when block 58 was offered, at the time oil prices were dropping, but we stepped in and bid on block 58 100%. We took block 58. Later that year, there were the discoveries in Guyana, and kind of the rest is history. But it was really because of the geologic potential, you know, in the deep water that really sits all up and down the Atlantic margin. So, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Christman. Who's first?
Good morning, Sam Black, JDC Nieuwsdienst.
Mr. President, no, Mr. Jagister. Mr. Jagister, can you tell us in simple words what happened today? Because not everybody is aware or understand what happened today. And can you please say it in Dutch, in simple words?
Yes. Wat vandaag is gebeurd is FID. Gisteren hebben we een Field Development Plan goedgekeurd. Wat FID betekent is dat ze vanaf nu grote sommen geld gaan uitgeven en contracten gaan tekenen. Laten we zeggen, ze hadden wat kleine contracten. Ze hebben een hulp gekocht, hè? Dus een ramp van een schip die al klaar staat en daarop gaan ze modules plaatsen en dat wordt de FPSO. Dus ze hadden wat kleine en die hulp konden ze gebruiken voor een ander project. Maar wat ze nu gaan doen is speciaal voor Suriname. En je begrijpt, de yards in de wereld zijn druk bezet. Dus als je het wil bezetten, ga je een contract moeten tekenen dat je 3 miljard gaat betalen aan die contracten. Dat is vandaag gebeurd. Dus eigenlijk moet je zien, FID is the point of no return. Dus het is de zekerheid voor Suriname, voor iedereen, dat werkelijk deze investeringen gaan gebeuren. En dat is vandaag bekrachtigd. Het boren van de bronnen, het aanleggen van infrastructuur op de bodem van de oceaan, zoals hij het mooi hier heeft gezegd. En het bouwen van de FPSO, dat prachtig mooi groot schip van 60 meter breed en 300 meter lang. Dus dat is vandaag echt gecommitteerd. Point of no return, dat is FID. Is het een beetje duidelijker? Ja. Dus over 4 jaar nu, 100% zeker. En met de track record van Total Energy gaan we zeker binnen 4 jaar uitkomen.
Today, in fact, we will sign 3 big contracts. One with SBM, the company which will build these floating units. One with Saipem, and one with Technip FMC for all the subsea system. So subsea production system, I think it's Technip FMC, Saipem is the lines. So we'll sign these 3 big contracts, which represent around $7 billion. So we are committed, you know, and I can tell you these contractors are also very happy, not only you. And then, on the top of it, we'll have to make a 4th contract, which will be the drilling rigs, which will come because we know that there are rigs available, so we make a tender for drilling the well. So it's a commitment today, that's a startup, and we are all engaged, in fact. That's why we are celebrating that today. And then we'll spend the money, and in 28 production will come.
Thank you for the answer. We're talking about oil and gas. Do you have an update about the gas part?
In this development, there is some gas. The gas will be fully reinjected, so we preserve the gas. There is no gas development because we want zero flaring. So all the gas will be, which will come with the oil, will be reinjected in the reservoir. Development for gas will be next stage. Honestly, we spend a lot of time and efforts, I can tell you, together to make this day possible in less than a year. So we'll come next time, we'll be happy. But for me, my focus is first for the coming years to deliver the project, and then other ideas might come.
And is states only allowed to look for partners for the gas part, or it is they are on?
We have together, but there might be, as you know, there have been some gas discoveries. It's public, so we need to think. Gas, honestly, is more complex because where do you find the gas? Let's say market. It should be LNG. So you know it's not easy. You need big volumes of gas. So a gas development obviously should encompass not only the Block 58 resource, but probably Petronas has discovered gas, maybe as well on the other side of the border. So we need to think big if we want. So it's why it takes more time. We need to have this project was between Apache, Total Energies, and Sansoli. Gas will require more cooperations. But obviously we have initiated some discussions with people and we'll see what can be done.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Fish Mahani Thomas from Suriname et al. question. Has Total Energy have a meeting with the Brazilian oil company Petrobras, because it is stated that it might have interest also in this project? Will they be also probably hopping on this train on Block 58? Is that
We were together in Rio, Hanan and I, so I think the question is more for Hanan for Total Energies. Let's be clear, Total Energies is very happy. We have today 50% share, in fact 40%, as Sassoli intends to exercise its option to take 20% of the project. As operator, I'm very happy to keep my 40%. And I think my dear friend John Christmas, which I'm carrying a little, is also happy. No, so I think that it's not I think Petrobras has expressed interest to look to Atlantic Basin, and Suriname is part of the targeting countries. But again, this question for me is more for Hannah.
Would you like to answer it?
Yeah, I can give some answers. So we signed an MOU with Petrobras in Rio, and they're planning to drill in front of the top of South America as well. So we'll need to cooperate. Petrobras is a brilliant technical company, as we all know. They have a lot of records on their name, drilling records and production records. So we're happy to cooperate with them. And in the offshore, there are a couple of blocks that people are looking for a farm-in partner. So you have heard from Total, they're not looking for a partner in 58. So, but in other blocks, it could be. And you never know what happens in the future. I mean, I think if you think strategically, the biggest neighbor of Suriname is Brazil, and we should keep them as close friends, because they can buy a lot of stuff from us, maybe even in the future gas. Because you know what is happening in South America now, man. So it's a huge drought. Their hydropower is not there anymore. They have to import huge amount of gas. So we can see how we can develop that side. But it will take time, like my colleague has said.
Total Energies is the number 3 in the energy market. We are controlling 10% of the world market, so we can acquire good at energy if there is a possibility. Don't really look at it.
Are there any more questions? On the Kuipers?
For Mr. Jagesa,
The microphone is coming up. The mic is
okay. How is Staatsoli doing by gathering the money to participate for 20%?
Yeah, so we fortunately, our CFO saved some money on behalf of our company. So the first payment is secured, and the second payment, we have some time to arrange that. As you know, we plan to issue a bond again in Suriname, and hopefully also the diaspora in the world can participate in that. So that's the second one. We have talked to 25 banks already. They're very interested. And of course, like my friend Rafi Riello has told us, when Total is on board somewhere, then it gives confidence to the banks. So we are confident that we can finance the 20%.
Yeah, I think the job for Anand and the CFO will be easier from today than it was before. When you commit, like a company like us, we commit several billions, people, the bankers, they like to join us on our projects. So I'm sure that is why we agree, because we want our partner to be comfortable as well. It's very important for us. We agree to give, to extend the deadline, I would say, for Staatsoli to come with a full financial package until summer 25, because we want Staatsoli to have a good chance to have a good, I would say, a good financial package. It's important for us as well.
Mr. Jagesa, you just mentioned that Staatsoli secured the first payment or investment. Could we know how much that is?
It's a significant amount, but it's in the bank, and we'll be able to pay interest.
How much?
So if you see 10.5 million, then 20%, you can calculate how much that is. And there will be installments. Okay, maybe Agnes, can I tell my first one? Which is 175 million. Yes.
Tijdens de presentatie van de president en van u, meneer Jagisser, is er vaker aangehaald regulated staatsoefening. In dit kader van zo'n groot project is er nog verstandig dat staatsoefening dus doorgaat als regulator en operator, of zou dus u moeten gaan richting de opzichte van die twee zaken, want we kunnen gaan richting een conflict of interest nu. Dat is één. Het volgende heeft te maken met ja, ik vind het jammer dat iemand van de regering hier is over local content en controle. We hebben zelf moeite om bijvoorbeeld op stuurmiddel te gaan lezen. En de regering praat over controle op zee en dat we dat goed willen doen. Hoe is dat in place? En local content, wat is die wet? Want wat is local content volgens de wet? Hoe moet je dat definiëren? Want ik weet dat Guyana de meest struggle nu. Wat is local content voor Suriname? Per wet.
Ja, dus de rol van de regulator. We hebben studies gemaakt van de systemen in de wereld en wie succesvol is en wie niet. Een van de wie succesvolle systemen is Noorwegen. Daar is alles opgesplitst. Maar het is niet vanaf het begin geweest. Het is na 20, 25 jaar is het allemaal opgesplitst nadat er ervaring en genoeg kader was opgebouwd. Een andere mooie systeem in de wereld, of gerespecteerd systeem in de wereld, is van Petronas, waar de regulator inderdaad in Petronas zit. Nou, dit is het probleem. Als we naar school gaan en we leren uit economieboekjes theorieën, dan moet je ze wel kunnen toepassen in je land. En als je een gebrek hebt aan kader, dan ga je een systeem moeten opzetten waar je kader deelt. En dat doen we nu bij staatsolie. We hebben een Chinese muur, dus één functionaris die verantwoordelijk is voor de regulator, heeft geen bemoeienis met de commerciële tak van staatsolie. Ja? En zelfs als het op een regeringsniveau zou zijn, Petrobras, Brazilië heeft het gescheiden. Desalniettemin krijgt Petrobras bijvoorbeeld alle contracten of voorkeur bij de contracten. Dus je kan zeggen, je hangt het Noorwees systeem aan en ga je zeggen wat hele grote deskundigen daarover hebben gezegd. Dan zou je 5 miljoen Noren moeten hebben in je land. Want het gaat om een attitude. Een Noor betaalt graag belasting. Ik weet niet of u graag belasting betaalt. Maar ik weet dat een heleboel mensen niet graag belasting betalen. Dus als je een systeem gaat implementeren, moet je het land daarvoor geschikt zijn. En geen kwaad woord over de contractors gesproken. Het is ook niet beneficial voor ons dat we een zwak instituut hebben, waar, laten we zeggen, de mensen niet goed worden betaald en ze weglopen, waardoor de contractors met een zwak instituut moeten onderhandelen. Daar kunnen ze in principe geen goed gebruik van maken, maar ze worden ook niet goed geserviced. Een lang antwoord, we kunnen hier lang over praten, maar dit zijn de twee grote voorbeelden in de wereld, Petronas en Noorwegen. En bij Noorwegen benadruk ik, het is niet vanaf dag 1 geweest. Het is na 20, 25 jaar dat men begon de zaken te splitsen. Kijk, de moderne, de westerse wereld wil